we've found that the rental market, and when we established our rental company, it's done great things for us here at Atlantic, and it's given us a whole nother tool to work with that we just didn't have before. There are an awful lot of customers or potential customers that just can't afford a brand new machine, but they can afford a machine that's a year old or 8 months old, that's had a significant amount of rental accumulated on it, and now that knocks the price down, so they're able to get in there and get one, and they still get a good warranty on it. And we want to turn the rental machines over before they get to looking like some of our competitors' machines. We would like to keep them not more than a year and a half is what we decided to do to begin with. And that way we can continue to turn the rental fleet over.
If you've got money in the bank and it's not doing anything for you, and you've got customers that want to rent a Schwartz, but they're going and renting them from Elgin, my thought is they're your customers, let's rent them a Schwartz. And then if you can build that, and that's what we've tried to do, is build that, there's still plenty of people that are going to say, I just want an Elgin. And that's going to happen. But our thought is let's be able to have these available so when they want to rent something, we have something available quickly and it's a good unit. When we decided to jump into the rental market, the big deal was, how are we going to do this? And I think that's still ever changing. I really do. But I think the least amount we're going to do is a week. And we're going to entice people, if they want to do more, if they want to do a month, or they want to even actually do 6 months, that's when we want to work with the customer, talk to them, ask them the questions to find out where are they going to be? Where do you want to be? We don't really want to rent for a week. We really want to rent for multiple months. So if we can do the multiple month, then maybe there's an incentive to the customer. Maybe you give them a little bit of an extra discount because they're going to have it for 6 months. Maybe they're going to do the maintenance because they're going to have it for 6 months. So when that comes into play, then your numbers can come down a little bit because you don't have to maintain a sweeper. Because that's the big problem, is that all the large rental houses, when you rent anything, a loader or a dozer or whatever, everyone thinks everything's included. So every deal for us is a little different because some customers expect it's 2 weeks and you're going to cover everything, right? Pretty much, yeah, we are. But if I can get somebody to rent something for 6 months and then they want a little bit of an extra discount, I can at least then say, okay, well, I'm okay with that, but I need you to maintain the vehicle, change the fluids, be responsible for those things, and I can work with you on the numbers. And that's how we do that.
The biggest thing is to convince the municipality or the contractor to use the rentals. I mean, aggressive rental rates, service, are the strong parts, and it takes a few years before you could get your machines into a position where they can be sold to an end user at a reasonable price. And then they generally will come back for more. They'll use the rental sweeper. We sell them for 3 to 5 years, and with the pricing, they will just keep turning the sweeper over instead of keeping them and rebuilding them. Future is in rentals. Along with new equipment, it's been easier to place the rentals into especially the smaller municipalities. Getting into their budgets. The trend was going towards a smaller mechanical sweeper because of the money, and we've been able to counteract that using our rental fleet.
Rentals can lead to sales in 2 ways, and that's that you may rent with an option to buy, where you're applying a significant percentage of the rental to the purchase. And then you may also have a customer who rents, and it's like a paid demonstration. They may rent a machine for a month and realize how good this is, and then want to decide to buy a brand new machine painted their colors and so on. And so I think it helps in both those ways.
The primary application is it could be a DOT, could be a small municipality that just wants to do the spring cleanup, so they might just rent it for 2 weeks, which typically turns into more. Could be 3 weeks or 4 weeks. So rare that someone only rents it for 2 weeks or even a week. They usually seem to want it. If it's going to work, they're going to do it for typically a little bit more. So it'll be municipal, and then it'll be contractors. So it'll be contractors that might already have a unit and don't have enough money to go get another unit. Also just a contract that might have a sweeper down. So there's a sweeper that's in for service. Oh man, I'm down. I got to go now contract with another contractor to get a unit in. Well, you could rent one if you need it. Rent it for a week. We try to work with the customer on those things. So it's again, that's ever changing. Every customer is different on how they want things applied, how much they want to have it applied, and how they think. But the nice thing is, if you set the price, that's the best thing. So if you set the price to the customer at the start of the rental period, they don't really look at that yet. All they're worried about is they're going month to month. When they go into 6 months and they start seeing all this money that they've just put into that sweeper, most contractors really don't want to walk away from that sort of money. They just don't. So they're going to approach you with, what can I do to buy this sweeper?
There is no doubt that when you look at the rental business before you're in it, it's you can be fearful, and it's a significant financial commitment, and it's a mental commitment that you have to make to that market. And we agonized here for several years before we did it. But we finally went, talked to the bank, got the financing lined up so that we knew we had that part all settled. Then we just had to deal with the mental part of it. And we talked to a number of other dealers who had already done it that we trusted. And this really put our mind at ease. Part of the problem is just getting the right documents. And it turned out to be more to that than we thought. But you have to do it properly, otherwise you won't be protected if anything ever happened. And you want your equipment, of course, to be protected. You've got to have a deposit, and even though somebody may only be renting a machine for a month, we require 50% of the first month as a security deposit. So it makes a difference, and we were fortunate that we were able to talk to 4 or 5 other dealers who were already renting equipment, and we got their experience, and that really helped us.